Good morning, everyone. This is Chrissy from Solstice ATR and Balkan Capital Research. Hope everybody's enjoying their Sunday. Super Bowl is today. Before I get started, I just want to have a chart up there in front of the TOS platform to basically let people know to protect their capital and understand market risk. Usually the bulls and bears usually fight it out. Most of the time, the Fortune 500 from 1926 has been, trending higher with little small downside risk for about a year and a half. And it shows the levels here. So most importantly, from 1926 till 2018 area, we've been in a bullish market, 2019, and we're starting the 2020. If the coronavirus in China gonna set this market down, protect capital, understand levels, ask us how we can help you in 2020 in your trading to understand risk, protection, levels to buy and levels to sell. And number two, the Federal Reserve Board and the impeachment was the reaction on Wednesday from the Federal Reserve Board that they're going to keep interest rate as they see fit. Number three, the trade wars, the manufacturing, because of the China coronavirus, it's going to cause a slowdown there unless they can get back to their jobs and everything would, that virus, they'll find a cure and fix the problem globally and domestically. You got the Brexit exit, which is the British exit from the Eurozone. And you got the Middle East that's nobody's talking about either. Let's take step by step by looking at the S&P 500. I have the ES mini contract for the Fortune 500. I have an up channel, down channel, and a minor sharper channel here. This was the action on Monday. I'm going to zoom in a little bit to show you guys what happened from Monday through Friday. We'll just go from here on that up channel that we had. These are the gaps, those actually gray boxes that I have. These are the gaps I show here, the overnight action on them. So remember, we usually revisit them. This was the Monday action, gap down because of the virus. Tuesday go up. Federal Reserve Board Wednesday, side action with an inside candle. Thursday reaction to the coronavirus, then push higher to clear the prior gap. Then eventually on Friday, we couldn't sustain the high and we fell through from the 18 simple moving average to the 50 SMA. The most important thing, you can see my tempo up here. It says bearish below 32.55 quarter. So in the S&P mini contract, the E-mini contract, as long as we are below 32.47, 32.62 area, we're going to stay bearish until the sentiment changes in the opposite direction. Maybe in the Sunday afternoon when we're watching the Super Bowl, the Asian market in Australia will open up. There may be a panic, a sell-off, and we'll see what Monday our trading hours will do. Do they try to fill the gap? Do they sustain the gap down and continue? Or do we go up, back up? We have 10 virgin control points. This is what we call VPOCs that we never revisited. As well, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 gaps, which were never filled from November 6th. And what I'm going to do is go to the daily chart, go to style in the setting, just to show everybody how it looks like. We're going to show the futures, uncheck the overnight action and push apply, and you'll see the gaps in the chart. Let's just push it back in. Here's the gap, one here, one down here, gap here, gap here, gap here. This one was basically retested. We had 13, and the higher this candle was 12 and a quarter. What was the low here? Actually 1275. It barely touched it. We filled the 850 SMA and the 18, we fell below it. If there's going to be continuation, we're going to lose this channel the 50 SMA won't hold. We'll eventually come back to the 38.2. We got 31.55 to the downside, as well as the 3125 area. So these are, if we're gonna end up gapping down, couldn't hold, and we fill this gap down here. The gap here, the high of the low of that candle is 3191.75, and the high of this candle is 3186.5. So keep an eye what happens in the overnight action in the China, Australia, and Eurozone. Do we come on a gap down? Then we go back up. And if you noticed here, below the 45, it's bearish on the daily chart. So if I go back from here, go to daily and go back to weekly, if the sentiment does change and the numbers do change, and it's telling you we've been bullish since that area in November. Are we in an up channel? Yes. How far are we away from the 18, 31, 45, 44, 45 in this channel here in order to come back and continue higher? But keep an eye on the overall sentiment and the trend. So let's take a look at the NASDAQ/NQ. NQ is in a similar situation, but if you noticed on the weekly, it's further away from the 18, but the daily, let's go to the daily. We'll use the daily on the other ones. We won't have to go into detail on the other instruments. Almost there, I don't know why. Okay. If you notice, we are in the 18 SMA. We fell through it. This was the action from the prior week. This was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, come out, and this is an engulfing candle. That was an engulfing candle going up on Thursday, and we fell through. Do we still have, to come to this channel? Of course we can come to this channel in the 50 SMA. So the distance that we travel between this box and the daily ES on the NASDAQ, there's a big difference between that and the S&P. Let's take a look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average, YM. The YM, you noticed we have lost the 18 simple moving average. We couldn't get above it from last week. We tried to go back on Wednesday. This was the Thursday action. It was an inside candle. It fell down to the 50, came back up, couldn't continue. Everybody's thinking it's going to continue higher. Then on Thursday, we gapped down and we fall to the 61.8. So I don't have the gaps. You can see there's some gaps here, some gaps here. So we got to keep an eye on the gaps where they are in relationship to the 50 SMA. And we are bearish below the 28,400. If we can get above the 28,400 on the Dow, we can continue. So let's see what we can do with the Dow Jones Industrial. Let's take a look at the small cap /RTY. And the RTY, I'm going to just zoom down a little bit just to show you the difference. This was the prior high that we were looking for, those three tops before we broke out. And if you notice, the Russell from the week before has been grinding lower. We tried going back above the 50 SMA. That was Tuesday, Wednesday. Thursday couldn't make it above the 50, and Friday the Russell fell hard. Where did it try to find support in the prior breakouts of the prior consolidation? The Russell has the 116 SMA and the prior gap. You notice I put those ovals from before for targets. We reached the top. We ended up rejecting the up channel. Are we going to be coming back to the bottom of this session? Possibility. So keep an eye if the Russell gets a bounce in this area, okay? So that's the Russell. Let's go look at AA. Let's do Apple, and I'll do end up gold in the VIX AAPL. And if you noticed Apple, whoa, what happened to TOS platform? Okay, this is Apple. You can see this is really engulfing. That was the earning report. Nice gap up and eventually filled the gap, fell through, lost the 18 SMA. There's this major channel here and your 50 SMA. Keep an eye on this level if we find support or the 38.2 in this consolidation before coming back up. Apple. Okay, let's take a look at Amazon. Amazon report was very nicely gap up, ran to the prior high, hit 55. The prior high was 53, almost 52.99. We looked up and it sold off into strength. If you notice, the high of it in the open was 20,055 and we closed at 20,008. This is why the candle looks green, because it gapped up, because this is a trending candle, not a candle that sold off that would show a red candle on the way down. So keep an eye on this gap in this area here to see if it's going to find support or come back to here before continuation. Let's take a look at Facebook. This is the earning report, was basically ugly. It was that day gapping up on the earning report, fell down, couldn't hold the 50, couldn't hold the channel. First support would be around the 116,200 SMA for Facebook to try to go for a long in it. Let's take a look at Google. Google, if you notice, is going to be reporting next week. It looked above this channel. I still had this major channel up here in this lower channel. Google has to stay above this channel in the 50 SMA to continue higher, but keep an eye on the sentiment. This is your 38.2 fib, this is your 50 and your 61.8. If the market looks ugly, we'll come through these falling down. If the market tends to find the support at this minor channel, that yellow one, and the computer that it grew, it may turn back up. Okay, that's Google. Let's take a look at NFLX. Netflix seems to be chugging along very well in this channel. Remember, on Friday, it didn't get much of an effect as the market did. It stayed on the bullish side, but keep an eye if it loses 340. It's very important that it does not lose 340. Then we'll come back to the 50 SMA backside of this channel. That would be the 38.2 fib, then the 50 fib for finding some support, because there's a small little gap here. Then I'll initiate maybe a buy here for the back upside. Let's take a look at Tesla. Tesla report was very great as well. Like Amazon, if you notice on the earning report, it gapped up. And on Friday, it basically stayed in the upper distribution of the prior high on the earning report. Let's take a look at Wind Resort. Wind Resort, if you notice, because of the virus and people not going to be outside, in Indonesia and other countries, using casinos, look what Wind did. Went from up channel to down channel, trying to get consolidation. The earning report is in a couple of days. That's on 2/6, and the announcement is on 2/6 at 3:30 p.m. Let's take a look at GC Gold. This is something that I really realized on Friday when the market sold off very harshly because of the impeachment and the coronavirus. Gold didn't react much. It's still in this up channel. If we finally broke this channel here, which I don't no longer need remove drawing. If you notice, we are in an uptrend. We have this channel here. We still got those gaps here. Whoa, what is my toss doing? Okay, we still have those gaps here. Remember, as long as gold is above 1565, it's still bullish for me. But remember, watch the trend, watch the technicals to keep you in the trade or out of a trade in gold. And what I'm going to do is draw this channel here. Oh, we do have the overnight off on this one. That's why. That's okay. Let's go setting. I forgot to put them back on. Equities. Futures. Okay, they are not showing. Show extended hour. Okay, there we go. So what I can do is grab this candle here. Oh, that's to this one here. And draw a cone to the upside. That way, if we're going to continue those two, we are in an up cone, creating a cup. This is the handle if it's going to continue to go up here and break out. So that's gold. If it falls through, keep an eye on the 18, the 38, the 50, for the back bounce because you see, noticed here, now the gap is filled on those two boxes. Let's take a look at oil, CL. If you notice CL eventually, this is the Saudi-Iran attack on their gas. We fell back down. We grinded back up. This is the United States and Iran and Iraq when they hit their military and, they knocked out their sergeants and lieutenants. And what happened to oil? We had a reaction push higher. We fell back down. We consolidated in this channel, trying to hold this channel to go back up. That's what I wanted to see. Unfortunately, we fell down like 5 days in a row. And we had Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday action falling down. This was the over what we had for the bottom distribution because you got this area here, this area here, this area here to hold. If oil cannot hold itself here, there's not much for us to get support. You notice that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If this is the support, it needs to bounce back up. And this is a sharp down channel. If you notice, the computer did a sharp down channel. We have to clear the 53.10 area, 53.30 in order to continue back up from where we fell down on this downtrend channel here. So let's keep an eye on oil because there is a possibility. If I go to the weekly, I'm going to show you something on the weekly, which kind of, giving me a hint. If this doesn't hold here, we got the major channel here. We are in a symmetrical triangle on the weekly in a compression coming out of the compression. Is this compression going to continue lower to get us to this channel and eventually fill this gap, then come back up on the third touch of the 43? I'm not trying to be bearish. I'm just showing you what is possibility. If you notice, I had a long time ago this area here finding support because I was looking for it. Then we bounced off 1, 2, 3, then came back up. We fell through on the weekly. Okay, let's go back to the ES on the weekly, and I'll show you the volume profile using the TOS platform. Remember, we climbed very sharp. We're still in an uptrend. This is your 18 SMA, and you got this channel for support, and the major one is down here. If we're going to hold, the 33.30. But I think there may be support in the 31.50, 45 area to continue higher. Let's see what the outcome is from Asian markets in the Eurozone this week. Let's go back to the daily. Once again, you can notice that move up. The last 5 days, we couldn't clear the 18 SMA. We tested it more than once. On Thursday, looked up. Unfortunately, we fell down. Let's go to the volume profile and the monkey bars to show you what we see in them. The monkey bars, we put them up. This is a 3 months daily. That's the 3 months that's developed. We're going to go from daily. We're going to change that style. Go to 20-day, 78-minute. And this is what I want to show everybody in this profile, why I am using this. The value area high is here. The value area low is here. This is the POC. This was from the 27 through 28, 28 through 29. This is the value area high, value area low. This was the POC. This was the Thursday action. We fell down, the POC stayed low, the sentiment stayed low. This is where most of the time was spent, and we ripped higher on Thursday of the noise that happened. And where did we close? Up here at 92, 94 quarter, the close of this candle. Unfortunately, 92, I'm sorry, around the 94 area, 92.50. So on Friday, we open up on a gap up. Where's the open? The open right underneath the Thursday's action. We couldn't find acceptance. What did they do? They kept selling it off on light volume, have gaps, create a POC. Sentiment was spent here at 77. We fell down. We tried to find support at the 60, couldn't find it in 58. Fell down to the 47, couldn't get above 46, 47. In the trading hours, we kept grinding lower. We ended up moving the POC down to 32.28 area. And where did we wick to the bottom? 32.12.75. We missed that gap on the profile on the daily chart, and we closed back up at the 27.28 area. If the sentiment gonna be bullish, watch what watch what the China and Eurozone and Australia zone do before our market. They may gap it down, sell the market. Watch if we're gonna come in on Monday, everybody has fear and they do sell it more, or do we try to fill back the gap and come back in this area to continue? And most important thing, you have to clear 47 to 53 in order to continue higher. If we don't see this area ever revisited, I think the trend has changed to the downside. Protect your capital. We may continue lower. This is the distribution on the last 20 days, 78-minute. You can see we were grinding up. We consolidated. We looked up at the 37. Couldn't get any higher on these two. You see 37.50. This was 37. So these are identical double top. That's what I consider them. We fell down Monday in the gap. Tuesday tried to go up. Wednesday inside the candle. On Thursday we fall down. We find acceptance, so we rip it back up. On no volume, we have a thin profile going high. Then on Friday, what happened? Couldn't find acceptance at the 92 or 78, and we kept going lower and lower and lower. Eventually, we closed down here. So let's see what the market gives you. Trade what you can and do your best. You can join us on Solstice ATR or on Discord. We'd be more than happy to help you. Have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy the football and take care. Bye-bye.